For nearly 2 years, one of Hollywood's most recognizable rom-com stars seemed to vanish from the spotlight. No big premieres. No red carpets. Almost no public appearances. Then suddenly, cameras caught Katherine Heigl stepping out in public again. And fans immediately started asking the same question. Where has she been? For many viewers who remember her dominating television and movies in the 2000s, the moment felt surprising and a little nostalgic. Because there was a time when Katherine Heigl was absolutely everywhere. But the story behind her disappearance, and her sudden return, is far more complicated than most people realize. And it all starts with one of the biggest TV shows of the 2000s. Long before the rom-com fame, Katherine Heigl became a household name thanks to the medical drama Grey's Anatomy. Her character, Dr. Izzy Stevens, quickly became one of the show's most beloved personalities. Viewers connected with her emotional storylines and unpredictable decisions. The role didn't just make her famous. It launched her into a completely new level of celebrity. Suddenly, Hollywood studios wanted her everywhere. Interviews, award shows, magazine covers. The momentum was unstoppable. Then came the movies. And almost overnight, Katherine Heigl became the face of a new generation of romantic comedies. Her film career exploded after the success of Knocked Up, where she starred alongside Seth Rogen. The film became a massive box office hit and turned her into one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses. Not long after, she followed it up with another fan favorite, 27 Dresses. The formula worked perfectly. Audiences loved her charm, humor, and relatable energy on screen. For a moment, it looked like her career was unstoppable. But behind the scenes, a few decisions would change the way Hollywood viewed her, almost overnight. One of the most talked about moments came when Katherine made the unusual decision to withdraw herself from Emmy consideration for her work on Grey's Anatomy. At the time, she explained that she didn't feel the material she was given that season deserved the award. The comment instantly became a headline. Some fans appreciated the honesty, but others, including industry insiders, saw it very differently. Around the same period, she also openly criticized parts of the film Knocked Up during interviews, saying she felt the movie portrayed women in an unfair light. Those comments sparked even more debate. And suddenly, a narrative started forming in Hollywood that she was difficult to work with. Whether that reputation was fair or exaggerated is still debated today. But the impact on her career was real. In the years that followed, many fans noticed something changing. The big blockbuster roles started slowing down. Instead of leading major theatrical releases, Katherine Heigl began appearing more often in television projects and smaller productions. Some reports suggested studios were hesitant to cast her. Other sources claimed the situation was more complicated, pointing out that she was simply becoming more selective about the roles she accepted. Either way, the shift was noticeable. But during that same period, something much more important was happening in her personal life. And it completely changed her priorities. Away from the cameras, Katherine was building a life that looked very different from her early Hollywood years. She married singer-songwriter Josh Kelly, and together they focused on growing their family. The couple adopted 2 daughters and later welcomed a son. In interviews over the years, Katherine spoke openly about how motherhood reshaped her perspective on fame, work, and success. Instead of constantly chasing the next major role, she started prioritizing family life. The pace of her career slowed down by choice. But eventually, something else began happening. She started stepping out of the public eye almost completely. Over the past couple of years, fans noticed that Katherine Heigl had become unusually quiet. Fewer interviews, fewer appearances, almost no major Hollywood events. For someone who once dominated red carpets and talk shows, the change was dramatic. Speculation began circulating online. Some fans wondered if she had quietly stepped away from acting altogether. Others believed she was simply focusing on life outside the industry. But without new public appearances, the mystery only grew. Until recently, when everything suddenly changed. When Katherine Heigl made her first public appearance in nearly 2 years, fans immediately took notice. Photos began circulating online. Entertainment outlets started covering the moment. And longtime followers of her career were thrilled to see her again. The reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Many fans expressed excitement at seeing the actress back in the spotlight after such a long break. Others pointed out how rare it is for celebrities to step away from Hollywood and then return without a massive publicity campaign. But that's exactly what made the moment feel genuine. It wasn't a carefully staged comeback. It was simply Katherine Heigl showing up again. And that alone was enough to spark a new wave of interest in her story. What happens next is still unclear. Hollywood has changed dramatically since Katherine Heigl first became famous. Streaming platforms have created new opportunities for actors to reinvent themselves. Television has become just as prestigious as film, and audiences today often view past controversies very differently. In fact, many fans now look back at the criticism she received years ago and wonder if it was unfairly amplified. Because speaking honestly about projects, something that once caused backlash, is now far more common in Hollywood. Which means the industry she returns to today may be very different from the one she stepped away from. For now, one thing is certain. Katherine Heigl's sudden reappearance reminded audiences just how much of an impact she once had on pop culture. From Grey's Anatomy to blockbuster romantic comedies, she helped define an entire era of entertainment. And sometimes, all it takes is one unexpected moment in the spotlight to remind people why they loved a star in the first place. Whether this marks the beginning of a full comeback, or simply a brief return to public life, fans are clearly paying attention again. And if there's one thing Hollywood has proven time and time again, it's that comeback stories are often the most interesting ones of all.